everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving my initial impressions of the Zen cards, kind of talk about what's missing, what's not, kind of go through that and give just my initial, also, I think I did this a while back, my initial impressions on what cards you should be looking out for now that I've seen like the base commons of this hero. And yeah, we'll just kind of get into it. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Discord down below, as well as the Patreon, gosh, I always say that, the channel membership, and see if you want to potentially support the channel a different way if you've been watching for a while. But yeah, we'll get right into it. So my initial impressions with Zen are interesting because right now, like if I go to this, we're going to do this on the fly as we always do on this channel. If you go to the part the misfill page on February, you can click this little hyperlink right here and it'll take you to like the set and what's been revealed and what hasn't and stuff like that. And if we look at Ninja, we have the legendary, obviously, like for every class so far, and then we also have two more Mystic Ninja Majestics that need to be revealed, as well as a regular Ninja Legendary potentially, we don't know yet, and two Majestics in the Ninja. So we have 4 total Majestics and 1 Legendary that is still required to be shown right now. So it's really hard to tell the TLDR of this, because I don't want to waste your time, but I am going to give you some cool stuff. I think is it's too early to tell how Zen's going to play, and I'll kind of talk about that in a second. Like these cards, if you test Zen right now on Talishar, in my opinion, you're basically playing a commoner deck, but for Ninja, and it's just not very good right now. That's not a hit on the card or the hero or anything. We just don't have everything. So because of that, I kind of wanted to talk about some of the cards that I have enjoyed, as far as, you know, just some preliminary testing to see how the cards function and stuff. And then I want to talk about Zen's lore page, which some people may be aware of, some people may not, that might point to how he's going to play, and then kind of give you some cards that I suggest looking into, or at least being aware of as we go into the set. So I have all the cards here. We have some reprints like Flex Claws, which is very good. Key Unleash, which I think could be decent to run at red, like at a 1-of maybe, just as a good chain ender when you want to use it. Pouncing Key is always very solid, especially in this deck. This card at red in the old Tiger Katsu is kind of like because you had to search for it, and you never hardly ever want to search for this card when you're on a big Tiger Swipe turn, so it was really kind of bad. But now that you can just make Tigers on command with things like Companion of the Claw and Harmony of the Hunt and Tiger Form Incantation, it allows you to play Pouncing Key a lot more consistently for its 0-for-4 go again. So it's very, very good. That's the reprints. When it comes to some of the cards, we'll talk about this card here in a second, like legitimately talk about this card here in a second. But a couple of things. One, Wind Chakra I think is okay. I wouldn't run it at red because it's not quite good enough at red to fill the slot, but at blue it's very good because your legendary instant right now cares about playing blue cards. This card, right? If you've played a blue card, if you play another blue card this turn, you can choose all 3, but if not, you only can choose 1. Being able to play this Wind Chakra for 0 is very good, because you play this, then you pitch a blue to play the Sacred Art, hopefully from Arsenal, and you get 2 Kachi Tigers. They get +1 this turn, and you transcend. And then when you transcend, for anyone that's not aware, whenever you use Zen's ability, it's create a Crouchy Tiger in hand and then search your deck for a card combo. So when you play this card and then you transcend and then you pitch it to activate Zen, you're able to make 3 Crouching Tigers all +1, which is so funny. It's basically Predatory Streak, but with the +1s. You're able to make 3 Crouching Tigers +1 and go get a card from your deck, which is pretty good. So when you partner that with Wind Chakra, if you play Wind Chakra, then you respond to Wind Chakra with blue with the Sacred Art. They'll see each other basically. What is the easiest way to explain it? And you'll get all 3 abilities from here, and then this will transcend, so it'll get the +3 instead of the +1. So your first Crouchy Tiger, if you don't buff it in any other way, will come in for +4 because it's +1 from the Sacred Art and +3 from the Wind Chakra. So at blue, I think this is very, very good. I highly suggest at least starting out testing and running it at blue. I think it's really good. And at worst, like it's a +1 buff, 3 block, you know, not super terrible. Companion of the Claw is interesting. It's basically I think so. Here's the other short thing with this is we don't know how the combo cards are going to be. I'm assuming the Majestics are combo cards. Like they're like the Fine Centers and the Bonds and the whatevers of this set, right? I do think that's how it's going to end up being, and it all depends if they end up comboing into something like Companion of the Claw and Harmony of the Hunt, or if they end up comboing like into the old Fine Center line, which we'll talk about here in a second, and they basically do a rework of the Fine Center line, like a Bonds treatment of it, because these could just be like non-combo starters that are ways to make Tigers, right? And then maybe the combos that are coming in Majestics, because I think they're one of two things. I think it's either a rework of the Fine Center line, that's just a kind of a fan theory, I guess is the best way to put it, or they're just all going to combo with Tigers or a certain amount of Tigers, but with more powerful effects. Like if you played 2 Tigers this turn and Crouchy Tiger is the last Tiger, this combat chain, this does X, something like that. So I have to see, but so I'm taking these on face as if they don't combo with anything right now. This card's okay. The reason I don't like this card right now is because it's 2 costs, and if you're playing Tiger Taming Chikara, which I think is very good right now, I still think until we see the rest of the cards, I would run this card over Kadachi's or over Edge of Autumn right now. It makes it really awkward. Like Harmony of the Hunt is perfect. You pitch a blue, you play a Harmony of the Hunt, you create a Crouchy Tiger, then you use your last 2 resources for Tiger Tame and Chikara, and then your Tiger comes in for 1, right? It's not insane. It's a 2-card 6, which again, not insane, but it can threaten. 2-card 6 that threatens Mask Momentum Trigger all of a sudden becomes pretty good. But with Companion of the Claw, you can't do that line unless you have Tunic, which makes it a little bit awkward. So Companion of the Claw is more of a card that's better when you're on like 4 or 5 card hands. At least, again, this is all initial from what I've played with a limited card pool. Tiger Form Incantation is fantastic. I love this card. Again, if you're trying to play blues for your Sacred Art, I think this can be played at red and blue. At blue, this says, pitch a blue, pay 1 resource to go get a 1-power Crouching Tiger. At red, your Crouchy Tiger, if you pitch this with pitch a blue to play this, then you swing Tiger Tame and Chikara, then your Tiger comes in for 4, which isn't insane, right? Again, 2-card 6, it's on rate, but what I've noticed about Zen, even with no power cards, is most of his attack strings are pretty on rate. He gets above rate if he starts like really being able to do a couple little things, but he's pretty on rate for the most part, and he's threatening Mask a lot, so it's pretty good. But yeah, Tiger Form Incantation, I definitely think looking at red and potentially blue. Harmony of the Hunt, I would run definitely at red. I've seen people try to run rainbow so far of this, a couple people in the big Discord. I just don't think your damage ceiling's high enough in this meta. You have to like really care about the damage ceiling, so I can't run it at yellow and blue. And this one's the interesting one. This one's so interesting. I guess that right now this card is terrible. In my opinion, it's a rare combo card. When this attacks, if a blue attack is the last action card the blue attack action card was the last attack of this combat chain, this gets go again, and you create a Crouch Tiger in your banish zone. So I guess it basically creates 2 chain links, but you have to play this, and playing a 1-power go again at blue feels really bad. I hope that this combos with something, or like there's a reason you want to play this card, because this card's really freaking cool. I love the art, but right now for me it's not doing everything. It's really, really interesting. And then Untamed is very good too. Untamed and Growl both are, I think, staples in the deck because they buff your Tigers unconditionally. When this attacks the next Crouching Tiger, you get this combat chain, play this combat chain, gets +1. This is really good alongside Growl because you pitch a blue, you play this for 4, you swing your Tiger Taming Chikara. Let's say you start with a Tiger from like Tiger Eye Reflex or something. That makes 6, and then your Tiger comes in for 7. Now all of a sudden you're doing a 2-card 7 if you made a Tiger through a block or something the previous turn. So it can be really good. So that's kind of where I'm at. Nothing crazy. A couple things. One, keep an eye on cards like this. I think. Let's back up. Let's go to Zen's lore page really fast. So Zen's lore page has some hero highlights. Each one of these has their own. This is the block that some people are talking about if you're not aware of it. Cat-like reflexes. Zen can be as elusive as he is deadly, powerful defense reactions and blocks, as well as tranquility needed to enter a defensive Zen state, will surely have Zen's opponents chasing their tail as they try to pin him down. So what does it suggest? It suggests that he's going to have powerful defense reactions and blocks. So far right now, the only powerful defense reaction he has is Flick Flack. They might be just talking about that, but I highly doubt it. I'm assuming we're going to get some more powerful defense reactions and blocks, as well as Tranquility needed to enter a defensive Zen state. So for anyone that's not aware of what Zen state is, we'll go here really fast. Again, all this is on the fly because we are a professional YouTuber here. Zen state reads, Zen state enters the arena with one balance counter on it. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy Zen state unless you remove a counter from it. So it lasts 2 turns effectively. You make it on your turn, it lasts on their turn. You take off a counter on your next turn, it lasts on their turn. So it lasts for 2 opponent turns usually, if you make it on your turn. And what it does is whenever a hero be dealt damage, prevent 1 of that damage that source would deal. So this completely turns off rune chance. It makes any 4 power or 3 power. It basically makes everything -1 counter, and it removes any arcane or like single instance of damage. How you normally get that off, though, the crappy part is the Soul Bead line. So it's Soul Bead Strike into Crane Dance into Find Center currently. Soul Bead is a 0 for 4 conditional go again if it hits. If it doesn't hit, nothing happens. Crane Dance states that it's a 0 for 3 no go again. If it's combo with Soul Bead, it gets +1 go again, and it can't be defended by attack action cards with base greater than the number of chain links you control. So basically, if this is, let's say Soul Bead hit in a perfect world on the first chain link, they're like, screw you, I'm not going to block it. This comes in for 4 go again, and it can't be defended by attack action cards with 2 or base with cards base greater than, so 3 or greater, since it's the second chain link, right? So the ideal state you want to play Crane Dance is on like your second link, because then it says anything 3 or greater they can't defend with, which is pretty nice. And then Find Center is the big one. If Crane Dance was the last attack this combat chain, Find Center can't be defended by cards with resource cost less than the number of chain links you control. And it gains, if this hits, create a Zen State token. So basically, if this is on the 3rd link, it can't be defended by cards with cards with 3 or less cost or 2 or less cost. So if you play this on like a long chain and it's on chain link like 5, then anything 4 costs or less can't defend. They eroded this to where it can be defended by equipment. It used to not be able to be defended by equipment. So unless the equipment has a declared cost, they can block this, which made it way less powerful, right? So going back to this is, do they give Crane Dance kind of like a reformed line, right, where it's something that's more playable? It would make sense, right? I mean, why wouldn't you? Now the question is, are they just going to like rework this line, or are they gonna just give him a different way to make Zen State tokens? Because there's other ways to make Zen State tokens. There's one more way. You can do Wax Off. If you played Wax On this turn, create a Zen State token. So Wax On is a 3 power, 2 power, 1 power defense reaction. If it's defending a card that costs 0, attack action card that costs 0, it gets +2. So at red, it can possibly block for 5. At blue, it blocks for potentially 3. And then you play another defense reaction, you create a Zen State. Again, all these are really niche, kind of like honestly crappy ways to make Zen States. So if there's a different way to make it, that's gonna be really cool. I don't know if it'll be offensive, like maybe you play you have so many Crouching Tigers in your banish, whatever the case may be. Because a friend did bring up, my friend Marvin brought up a really good point to me, is Crouching Tigers, as you can see right here, they're ephemeral. So this can't start the game in your deck. If this would be put in your graveyard, instead remove it from the game. However, if you banish a Crouching Tiger and you don't use it, it stays there. So maybe there's a way where your Zen State is, as long as you have X amount of Crouching Tigers in your banish zone, you're in Zen State or something like that. That's just a random thought. But yeah, so that's the case of it. So all that being said, let's go back to this Stride of Reprisal. When this defends, create a Crouching Tiger in your hand. Maybe there's reasons that you want to make Crouching Tigers on their turn. It could be, you know, A, to get value on your turn, but B, maybe there's like cards that care about on block, make a Crouching Tiger, on block, make a Crouching Tiger. Because if you look at his lore page saying like he has powerful defense reactions and blocks, what also could make a defense reaction or a block powerful is by creating offensive value on your turn, right? So maybe this is the commoner equipment of a version of something we're getting later. Who knows? Also, I'm saying all this without knowing anything on the back end. I'm not like trying to be tongue in cheek and like give y'all hints. I'm not. I'm legitimately giving y'all like normal thoughts here. So that's kind of where I'm at. So all that being said, let's go to some cards I think you should at least keep an eye on. I'm not saying pick these cards up. I'm not saying buy them immediately. I'm saying just have them on a little sheet of paper or something. First one is Conceal Blade. Card's very good. It's a block 3 lunging press that cares about your ninja attacks. It also can give a dagger back, which really isn't that useful. But it's a blue block 3 lunging press. And when you have cards that care about the fact that you've played a blue card this turn, you know, if you pitch, you know, if you even attack with a 0 cost Biting Breeze, right, and then you Conceal Blade it, then you can pitch your blue to activate your Sacred Art, right? So I think this has some applicability. I don't know if it'll be played or not. I think it definitely has something you should at least look at, right? Next one is Flick Flack. That's the obvious one. He's going to care about combo cards a little bit, and if you're talking about powerful defense reactions, and then it does end up becoming a mid-rangey kind of like just really good you know, value-based deck with powerful reactions and blocks, then Flick Flack's going to be in there, right? Another one is Blue Flying Kick. I think this one's actually pretty good. I've been running this, just playing around with it. You know, with this Crouching Tiger line, like a lot of times you might, like you could even do the line of Harmony of the Hunt, create a Crouching Tiger, play Flying Kick for 5, right? Off a 3-card hand, you're looking at 8 to 9 damage if your Crouching Tiger can get buffed. It's basically on rate, but this is a good chain ender, I think, potentially. I'm just trying to make my blues more useful, so if I can, I will. I don't know if this will end up making the final cut, but it's just a card I'm thinking about. Terran Shuko is another card. Right now, the arm piece and the head piece are up for grabs. I'm really excited to see what our legendary is. I do think that'll dictate like what we use, but Terran Shuko is a possibility because breaking skills like is nice, it's good, and I definitely think you could use it, and I wouldn't bat an eye if you did. But right now, there's no like key like there's no key thing that we want to use, and Tiger right now, oh my gosh, Tiger Stripe Shuko is definitely the lead here, right? Without a doubt, for sure. But maybe there's a way where we buff Tigers better with another legendary or majestic or something like that, right? Where you don't need Shuko as much. There's a possibility. Just keep this card in mind. Maybe buffing a Tiger is more important. If you can buff your Tigers anyway and you don't need the Shuko value, this might end up being better. But Tiger Stripe Shuko is still the number one by far. Tiger Eye Reflex, I've talked about this one before. Definitely look at these. I think you're going to want to have this card. This card combined with the on block, combined with, you know, making Tigers on their turn. I think somehow we're going to care about making Tigers on their turn. So that one. And then finally, Edge of Autumn. This one seems really innocuous, but if Tiger Tamer and Chikara ends up not being needed, like the 2-for-2 is just a little bit too steep and we don't really care about buffing our Tigers because we can buff them a different way, then Edge of Autumn, I think, ends up becoming really good because it gives us flexibility in what we pitch. And Kadachi's may end up just being the weapon. If we can find a way to buff Tigers consistently and we're not, then it becomes do we want to be tied to 0 cost blues or not? If we don't want to be tied to 0 cost blues for whatever reason, Edge of Autumn will be the go-to weapon, I think, which sounds really funny. If it's not, then maybe we go Kadachi. So those cards are just like some casual cards. Terry Shigo is probably the least useful one because Tiger Stripe Shigo is just too good, but I wanted to at least put it in there. But yeah, let me know what you think about these cards. Overall, I'm very happy with it. They're really cool. They play really well, and even with this limited card pool, like I've done about 10 to 20 games on Talishar with Zen against just random opponents. I haven't really tested against friends with this deck, but I'm averaging like 13, 14 damage a turn. And I have had one turn with the Sacred Art where I dealt 30 damage. They let a mass trigger hit, which they shouldn't have, but they did. And I ended up dealing 30 that turn with this limited card pool. So really excited to see what comes. Again, this set is this class is the most like wait and see out of all 3 right now. Yes, every class has some Majestics they still need to get, but Ninja has the most. They have 2 Majestics at Mystic Ninja, 2 Majestics at Ninja, 1 Legendary, potentially 2 Legendaries. So really interested on that one. And we also have a set of common attacks that we haven't gotten yet. So really interested on that. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to another creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. See y'all later.